And at night, it would turn into a circus. You'd have music, fortune tellers, snake charmers, fruit stands, dinner places. Everything's happening right there. It's pretty magic. Welcome to 10-Minute Travels. With me, as always, is Shane Patrick.
And with me, as always, is Phil Freeman. Today, we're going to talk about Morocco with special guest, Clay Bastion.
Let's get right to it, shall we?
So, aside from the bikes, the mopeds those folks are on, they speak French there, right? And then, are there a bunch of tribal languages as well?
Actually, it's a bit of a colonial sandwich. It goes Spanish, French, Spanish again, and there's Arabic, and then there's
Berber.
There's Berber, and so when you're seeing a sign, literally there's 4 languages being involved there. And Reda was fascinating to watch because he would lead with Arabic usually. But then he knew when and where to lead with French. And rarely did he lead with English. But the vast majority of the time it was French. But when we were going in and out of these influences, I was hearing Spanish being spoken first, French being spoken first, and then you come across the Berber signage, on the signs and stuff, and their alphabet was, oh my goodness. And we were definitely crossing some old cultural waves there.
Clay, do you have any other languages besides English?
I know Pig Latin, Spanish, and French, but that's about it.
So when you weren't around Phil or Reda, how was communication?
The places we went, the hotels, their people were all English speakers. The restaurants, it wasn't really an issue. And, at the gas stations, none of those people spoke any English, but they knew what we wanted.
Right. No surprise there. So go ahead, Phil.
I was just going to say that 2 of our participants, one of them was a native French speaker. No, both of them were native French speakers, one from the old world, one from the new world. And they led with French the whole time, and they did very well until we got up until the the Mediterranean coast, the northern part, which had a little bit more Spanish influence. But by and large, if you're fluent in French, you're going to get around just fine.
Did they comment at all on what the French was? Like when you're in Georgia or Scotland, it's English on paper, but not really.
I assume that their French was more Parisian. I did talk to Reda about that, of that influence. And one of our riders was from Quebec. And the only comment I had about his French was from our other rider who was French. And I guess that's their deal.
Right. So Marrakech, crowded, old narrow streets. How was that? You went in and out of the city on bikes, right? You didn't get them shipped somewhere?
Yeah, I would be. We started just outside of Marrakech, but I would be interested to hear what Clay's 2-cent take is on Marrakech.
We were in the Medina, which is the old walled part of the city, and our hotel was down a maze. It was just a puzzle, and we needed to get to an ATM, and you had to mentally find unique things on corners to know which way to go, left or right, because it was just a maze getting out to where the ATMs were, and I'd never be able to find my way around Marrakech because it's just a maze.
Yeah, Marrakech was interesting. I spent almost a week there, and there was the main plaza, Jamal, and that was famous for basically public executions and gatherings.
Nice.
And at night, it would turn into a circus. You'd have music, fortune tellers, snake charmers, fruit stands, dinner places. Everything's happening right there. It's pretty magic. The energy just keeps going up and up and up until about 10 or 11 p.m. The Medina starts to slow down as you get into the evening, but good luck trying to find your way around the first time. It's just so narrow and such a labyrinth. It's so easy to get lost and not know which way you're headed. And I also noticed that in Marrakech, they're okay with you just flying through there on a scooter. You'd think it was a pedestrian highway, but good luck with that. You're constantly getting away around the bread man that has a width of a meter of bread coming through at a nice 30-mile-an-hour clip. Or 20, but super busy. It was one thing I found about Marrakech as to all the other places that we went to. It was really in your face. There's a lot of tourists from all over the world. There's a lot of locals. Nothing is given away for free in Marrakech. You're approached a lot, but there's always a hook. There's always something going on. And if you want to sharpen your teeth, landing in Marrakech and having it right in your face is a good way to go. It's civilized to a point where you just start walking one direction, you can get out of the Medina, and it's fascinating, but it's definitely a plunge in the deeper side of the pool, the cultural pool. And I say it's intoxicating for the first couple of days. And then considering where we went and the tranquility of the places that we saw for the rest of the trip, it was nice to get out of the city. But it definitely was a splash to be introduced to that place right off the bat. And one thing we noticed too is that once you got out of Marrakech, you didn't feel as targeted, as as set apart for being a foreigner and a possible opportunity. You felt more of a connection, and there were some lengthy conversations or just genuine inquiries once we got out of Marrakech. So
We went through a lot of tight markets, and there's enough room for 2 or 3 people to walk down these paths, and every merchant there wants to sell you something, and you make eye contact with one of their wares, which are usually handmade local things. They want to make you a deal, and it's getting a rug back to Kansas is not really practical.
We had a couple of our riders that, even though they were briefed about how to handle it, how to bargain, how to say no, it's a constant bombardment in Marrakech. So both of them got kind of taken for a ride a little bit, and they knew better. And that's the magic of their barter culture there. It's been around forever, that they know how to turn a deal even if you don't want it. And the next thing you know, you're on the back of a guy's bike just flying through the Medina, and you didn't even know, you didn't want to say no. And then you're buying something that you really don't want to buy. And both these guys knew better, and they found other places where they could have bought them at lower prices. And they were a little ashamed, but they sharpened their teeth. And we also learned in Marrakech, if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, are you looking for?" That's the minute where there's an exchange there where money should be applied. And that's when it's just okay to say no. And that's one thing that you want to practice before you even enter into the Medina.
Yeah, I can imagine. That sounds like, it would just get overwhelming after a while. So I have a little bit of knowledge of Marrakech. So I'm assuming you rode some rooftops with your motorcycles?
Shane, you froze up a little bit. Can you repeat that?
Did you ride any rooftops with your motorcycles?
Like in a James Bond movie?
Yeah, I think James Bond did it. I assume Jason Bourne did or will in one of the sequels,
I'd say the most risky thing we did was stopping in a park and having monkeys come up to us and want to be fed. The French Canadian actually did feed them with his hands, and how he's not in a clinic now, I don't know.
We one thing being starting in Marrakech and having it right in your face, the culture full on, and what I did enjoy was their rooftop culture. You mentioned rooftops, and when you go into the Medina, you're going to have a choice to stay at regular hotels or riads, and riads are traditional places where they're all walled in and they're insular, and they usually have a pool or some sort of trees and situation going on, a garden inside. And then you get to the top and you have this rooftop. And many restaurants also have this too, where you get up on the top and you can overlook the city, and you can see the mosques, you can see the sunset, and you can enjoy the cat culture that is going on literally everywhere.
Cats are everywhere, particularly inside restaurants. They're looking for something. But on the rooftops, we spent a couple nights out there because one of the guys had his laptop and a MotoGP account. We got to watch racing, and that was really fun. But our final dinner was at a very nice restaurant on a rooftop, and it was a very modern, almost a disco feeling place.
Yeah, they did have a DJ on the second floor or something, mixing. Oh, yeah.
Morocco, a special guest, Clay Bastion. If you want to learn more about him or any of the other things we do at 10 Minute Travels, check us out at 10minutetravels.com.
And we want to remind you to make sure that your sense of humor matches your sense of adventure.
And please like, subscribe, and share this podcast on all the platforms.